Established in April 2021, Upland Development United is the oldest and most exclusive and transparent no development collaborative in the Upland Metaverse. Contact Morecheese or Ben68 for more information. Warning: this podcast is produced by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment and contains unsolicited and heavily biased opinions which are solely the views of the individuals involved. It does not include investment advice of any kind, and you are responsible for undertaking your own financial, including tax liability research relevant to your own individual circumstances.
Taking over the Upland Development United. Total meta domination.
Alrighty, let's see how we go. Today is the UDU Podcast, Year 2, number 46. My name's Ben68, and it's Tuesday, the 19th of April in some places. Here, it's Wednesday, the 20th. Now, this is normally where we'd put a sponsor plug in. We are fishing for sponsors to help with the show. So in the absence of that, I'll just do a little plug for myself. Why not, eh? Today's episode is sponsored by Samurai Aquatics, which is an outdoor decor NFT shop coming to the Upland Metaverse soon. Those magical words. Samurai Aquatics aims to provide the community with a range of high-quality aquatic-themed outdoor decor NFTs to accompany and enhance their buildings in Upland. We're not allowed to use water yet, so that's a bit of a problem, but we'll see how we go. To keep up with events, check out udu.world/MetaVentures. If you have an Upland NFT or Metaverse product, service, or event to promote, you can engage with us and sponsor the show. And we've got a special 50% off listed price offer at the moment. So contact Cheese and myself to discuss that. All proceeds go towards giveaways and that on the podcast. So Cheese, how you doing?
I'm good. That was great, Ben. Wow. I think you're getting too professional for me.
We'll just go with the flow.
That was perfect. No, that was really good. I'm gonna hire you.
You're gonna hire me.
I'm gonna hire you to do my bit.
Awesome. So yeah, we've completely changed the way we run these things. As people may have known, we used to run a weekly team meeting, which this is partly that. We were doing a news show called Breaking Badly News. Again, this is part of that. And we were thinking of setting up an Upland Mash kind of variety show. And again, this is part of that. So, Cheese, did you want to run through some housekeeping rules for the podcast?
No.
No? Okay, so it's just basic stuff. Just realize that if you're coming in, put your mic on mute if you can, and, don't be a dickhead, that sort of thing. It's pretty simple. We don't get too crazy. Well, we like to get crazy, but not too out of control. Do you want to do the overview, Cheese?
No.
All right. So as I kind of alluded to, the show is broken up into three main segments. The first segment is the Breaking Badly News segment, probably go for about 25 minutes, something like that. And we just run through all the contemporary news events, to do with Upland around Metaverse, NFTs, crypto, that sort of thing. And then we head on over to the UDU Team meeting where we discuss things related to the UDU Team, obviously. And then finally we wrap up with the Upland Mash, which, that's where we give away the prizes and whatnot. Now, the main prize, obviously, that you may have seen everywhere is the chance at 1 million UPX, which is a pretty out there price. Like the lotto, the chances are low, but they are chances, and you've got to be in it to win it. Now, the way that's going to work is you have to be live in the Zoom at a certain stage when I manually take a snapshot of who's in, and then at some stage through the middle of the podcast, you'll be told a keyword. We don't know what it is yet. We'll work that out when it comes. And then right at the end, when we're about to spin the wheel, we'll see who's going to play, and you have to be live in the Zoom then to take part. So if you're in the snapshot, but then you bail out and we get to the end and we say, okay, I don't know, Fred, are you there? And you're not there. Well, we're going to spin the wheel again and it's somebody else. And that's about the gist of it. Did I cover everything, Cheese?
You did. You're totally carrying me right now, and I'll be better later. But I just, how I am with lives, and I'm just so freaking nervous. But I'll, I'll try to do my best.
And you DM me while we're doing it, and I get distracted.
I'm saying I'm sorry.
Oh my God, who's that?
Babes.
Oh, you guys can hear me? My bad. My bad.
Oh, that was some like creepy uncle hiding in the cupboard.
It was a great laugh, though. We might have to make a laugh track of it.
Yeah, it was. All right, so we'll kick off with the Breaking Badly news segment. So first of all, we'll touch on the crypto markets. Now, we haven't run this since, well, way back in one of the last UDU team meetings, which was 8th of February. It's interesting to see, what are we now? We're almost 2 months away. And a lot of things have changed, but not much have changed as well at the same time. It's pretty interesting. So the global crypto market cap at the moment is $1.92 trillion, and Bitcoin's dominance is currently 41% and change. The last time we run the numbers, Bitcoin was at 43,000 US dollars. Today it's a touch over 41,000. So a little bit of a drop there, not much. Ethereum is pretty similar. It was $3,056. That's bumped up a little bit to 3,091. Wax was at 36 cents. It's dropped down to 27, which sounds like a bit of a steal to me, but do your own research. And the last one that we look at is Engine, which was $1.95, and that's also dropped to $1.51. So maybe some good entry points there. If you have a favorite crypto that you'd want to be included in this, hit us up, let us know, and we'll see how we go. Now, probably what's more interesting to everybody is the Upland markets. Again, we didn't run these numbers for a while, so it's pretty interesting to see. Got these figures from the Upland Me Marketplace Analytics, which is pretty clunky, but it gives us a good overview of what's going down. So the 30-day transaction volume is about 3.17 billion UPEX. The 90-day average transaction volume is about 127 million UPEX, and the 90-day average trading volume is 9,533. It will be very interesting to see how some of the changes Upland have made impacts on all of that, but we'll talk about all that stuff later. As for actual numbers crunching, all the good stuff that people want to know, especially market floor sellers like myself, using the data from upexland.me. The last time we ran the numbers, San Francisco was at about 34,000 UPEX at the moment, with everybody fire sailing, especially Banana, for getting ready for the Queen's collection reveals. We've gone from 34,000 UPEX in February to a bit under 33,000. So not much there. I think that just shows the cycle, and everybody knows it. Prior to or just after a city release, all the floors plummet, and then they gradually pick up again. Interesting, the US dollar floor in San Francisco is down to $25, which is kind of mind-blowing. And that pattern's repeated in Manhattan. USD floor down to $80 for Manhattan. Wow, crazy. And massive disparity between the USD floor and the UPEX floor. Back on the 8th of February, Manhattan was 173,000 UPEX. Now it's down to 120. So yeah, crazy stuff. But pretty good arbitrage opportunity there too. Although I don't know how quickly things are moving with everybody in panic sell mode, not really in a buy mode. But there's always those savvy players out there who wait for these periods and then gobble up all that low-hanging fruit. Chicago, it was at 7,800 UPEX. It's stayed pretty similar, 7,900 USD floor, $5.40. And LA was at 8,400 UPEX, and that's dropped down to 7,400. Again, USD floor about $5.50, something like that. We're only really focusing on the big hub cities, the tier ones. But as with the crypto, if you've got a particular soft spot for a city or whatever, and you want to get that included in the stats, hit us up, and we'll see how we go. I think that covers all that.
What about the Bronx?
Yeah, we can add that if you want, or you can add that, or we'll see how we go. It just, with so many cities coming out, it's, we got to draw the line somewhere. Otherwise, the whole show is going to be the floor show.
We're not going to draw the line with the Bronx. Bronx
All
is the best one.
We'll patch that in next week so I don't get hit in the head with a virtual shoe. So yeah,
I'm going to
In
talk about Upland.
right
There we
now,
go.
in Upland news, it has been a very busy week. Wow. We'll touch on several of the events later in the show. Two of the biggest events which have initiated lots of conversations in the various Discord servers this week, of course, have been the end of collection swapping. Well, not exactly the end, but the end, and the start of the daily login spark bonus. So yeah, while Upland haven't technically stopped players' ability to farm UpX via collection swapping, I used an analogy when I was talking to this in DMs with Missida yesterday. You know, I said, if the price of petrol was $10,000 a litre, or whatever the hell that works out for gallons for you crazy people, and you had a car, nobody's stopping you from driving your car, but my guess is it's not going to leave your garage anytime soon, right? So that's what Upland have essentially done. They haven't stopped you from doing collection swapping. They've just made it a completely unrealistic option, which is just words. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. Collection swapping, for all intents and purposes, is dead.
Well, not necessarily.
Oh, yeah?
So I've been hearing from birds, and I won't say who those birds are, that there is an opportunity. This actually created an opportunity for another market, which we will just be calling renting. And I think it's like people are afraid that it actually made the value of collections lower, whereas if this renting thing does happen, I think they're going to be even more valuable. So not only will you be swapping, but you'll be renting the actual property for the allotted time,
with the UpX generated
paying UpX generated cost, the cost of actual renting of that property, the value of the property. So I'm sure there's going to be another kind of avenue for this, and you'll be paid either upfront with collateral, like something to hold on to.
Yeah, that's going to be the big one. That's interesting because I know, like, way back in the day, back when I started doing 50-50 collection swaps, when everybody, or all the old OGs in the community were dead set against it, and I was the worst person in the world for doing it. One of the things that was always brought up was the hit by the bus factor. Well, what if we're collection swapping and you get hit by the bus in the middle of the collection swap? And keep in mind, this is before this system is in place. So collection swaps used to take 5 minutes to run a set, something like that. So if people were worried about the hit by the bus factor when the risk time frame was 5, 10, 15 minutes, well, now we're talking up to 30 days. Seems a bit kooky, but I guess if the math work, we know there's a lot of smart people in the community, so if there's a way to do it, I'm sure they'll find it. Interesting. We'll have to keep our eyes out for that, Cheese, and keep me up to speed with that one, because that sounds very, very cool. Although for myself personally, I've moved on. I don't even buy collections anymore, let alone trying to swap them. So
yeah, I'm sure it's going to be only kind of like an exclusive club of people who, you know, it's not going to be, oh, hey, I'm Joe Newcomer.
Well, it's only going to take one Afrikaans to get into that mix, and that's going to be the end of that, isn't it? So we'll see.
Well, you can't just say that and not kind of explain.
Afro. Oh, surely everybody knows Afro by this stage. He's one of the main culprits behind all the stealing of collection properties. You know, he's probably had, I don't know, 100 different Discords, names. He always comes in, and you know, you can tell it's him straight away with the language he uses and that sort of stuff. So yeah, there's always people that are going to work out ways to use the system, and as you know, there's always going to be people that work out ways to abuse the system. So, you know, be smart and manage your risk to reward ratio, because sometimes it's just not worth it. The other big thing was the weekly Spark logging bonus has finally arrived. It's something that has been talking about for quite a while. The official details raised a lot of questions at the start, because we know that, I don't know, for whatever reason, these things tend to get communicated overcomplicated. But yeah, it's pretty simple if you just think of it. You need to log in at least once every 24 hours for 7 days straight. There's people saying, well, what if I log in at 11:59 p.m. and then 12 and all this? Like, just keep it simple. Log in once every 24 hours. And, it's not going to be an issue for me because I probably log in at least 24 times every 7 hours. So
Exactly. I just need to remember to refresh.
Yeah. And, well, that's interesting. I wonder how that's going to work with the app then, because oftentimes I'm
You'd
not
have to
closing and reopening the app.
Yeah.
Could be a bit
So I'm
tricky.
checking in right now. I don't allow myself to go on in the beginning of the day because I have to do my work and it's a distraction. So this will be my time to log in every day, 11:30 to 12.
Cool. Yeah, we did have a few requests back in the Breaking Badly Newsday show. I used to do a bit of karaoke. Now I don't know why, but we did have some requests to kick that off again. So
It was me.
apologies if this is going to kill you, but we'll see how we go. So while the current weekly reward of 0.01 Spark not be worth getting out of bed for, as Dire Straits put it, get your Spark for nothing, get your divs for free. There you go. That's all you're going to get today.
I love it.
Apologies for that. I'm embarrassed for myself. In crypto news, now this was a big one that I saw yesterday. According to ABC News Australia, North Korean hackers have targeted the Axie Infinity game in a $620 million crypto heist. 620 big ones.
Yep.
Pretty crazy. So the hack was one of the biggest to hit the crypto world, raising questions about security in an industry that has only recently burst into the mainstream. This North Korean Lazarus group that's supposedly behind the hack, pretty famous for back in the day. Remember that Sony Pictures Entertainment hack, where it was in response to the interview, that movie about North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. So apparently it's the same team. So in this case, the hackers exploited weaknesses in the setup put in place by the Vietnam-based firm behind the game, Sky Mavis. Now, the reason I bring this up is because it kind of, I mean, it's not related to Upland, but it is. It's all in the same industry, the same sector. And this will ring true. This part will ring true. The company had to solve a problem. The Ethereum blockchain, where transactions are logged, is very slow and expensive to use. So to allow Axie Infinity players to buy and sell at speed, does that sound familiar? The firm created an in-game currency and a side chain with a bridge to the main Ethereum blockchain. The result was faster and cheaper, but ultimately less secure. So we know Upland's playing around with things like this, like ways to speed up the EOS blockchain and working on different patches. And we've seen with the Queen's release that whatever they're doing seems to be working. So it's a little bit of a concern, but maybe not. So the attack targeted the blockchain. It netted 173,600 Ethereum and about 26 million worth of PEG's USD stablecoin. So pretty monumental hack, like holy moly.
Yeah,
But
that's crazy.
what was interesting was, I'm not sure exactly what the Axie currency is, but it didn't even dump that hard, or it's kind of strange to see the chart for that. So.
Well, I did read something about that where they did something to kind of level it out.
Yep.
Maybe they kind of like brought back some of their own I don't know that the proper words for it, but like to kind of make the value stay up a bit.
Well, how much money have they got? If they get hacked for 620 million and it doesn't cripple the business, holy moly, how much money have they got?
They're the oldest, aren't they? Like the oldest, and then they have that the backers, the one that came to Upland.
Yeah,
and
like the angel investors and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I've mentioned Upland in that conversation there, but one of the things that always happens when new crypto people join the community is they say, is UpX a crypto, or when's it going to be on an exchange? And we know that the team's pretty adamant that it's not going to be. And recently there's been a lot of groundswell in the community. Please don't ever make it. I think this is a good example of, the downside of that. like we have seen accounts get hacked before and sell for US dollars and that sort of stuff, but hackers aren't going to hack into the game and steal, 300 billion UPEX because there's no value to it outside of the ecosystem. So I don't know. It removes that carrot, I think. Well, at least I hope. This is the point in the Breaking Badly show where we're going to flip on over for a dose of Arthur's reality, which, if you're listening now, will make no sense whatsoever to you unless you've seen the other shows. But if you watch the later recording, you'll get it. Now, Cheese, I believe you have some NFT, Metaverse, and maybe even some gaming news for us.
Yes, I do. I have Metaverse and gaming news. I didn't really have NFT news until this exact second where I just got a DM from Stirs. Wait,
Cool.
shouting you out,
Stirs is one of those geniuses who has his fingers in all sorts of crypto and NFT and Metaverse pies all over the place. What's going on with the Stirs, man?
All right, so this is awesome. Let's see. Share screen. Where is it? I just got immortalized in the Nasty Hooks.
Very cool.
And there's you
got a song and everything. So you just have to
it's,
explain for
it's the
people that
song-
can't see.
all right, so it's basically I've become a pixel image in the Nasty Hooks for You collection, where if you don't know who they are, check them out. They're a comedy singing group that their songs are really good. Like I end up, singing them every so often. And they put like a song on it and you get to pick the song, and I picked The Wind Inside, and it's about like somebody who's scared to fart in front of their loved ones because they love them so much. But I think this is cool. And
Awesome. Yeah, sorry, I'm just on mute. I'm taking the snapshot while you're giving us the lowdown.
okay, all right. So I'll start into the Metaverse news. So basically, Justin Bieber is going to be going into the Metaverse for a live virtual concert. And like, do we really want that? Like I'm kind of glad it's most of these stars aren't coming to Upland, that they're all going to like these other places. But last week he announced that he was partnering with the virtual entertainment company Wave to bring fans inside his world, his metaverse. And during the event, which will merge gaming, real-time motion capture, and live musical performance, the Biebs will transform into a digital avatar and deliver a full live show. Now, I think this is a new kind of platform he's going on. It doesn't really say like if it's Sandbox or Decentraland or anything else. It just says it's going to be like one of his new ones that he's creating. So,
well, I think any publicity is good publicity at this stage, except for things like the hack.
well, yeah, I guess you're right. That's true. That's true. I don't know. I don't know.
But didn't he spend like 3 million on a Bored Ape NFT thing or something as well? So
Yeah, he did. But I mean, those I kind of feel like are gonna keep going up a bit. It's weird. It's weird. Well, in other news, the Shibu Inu Metaverse, another metaverse, they've raised nearly 20 million so far. So like about 6,000 ETH has been spent in the Shibu Inu Metaverse, and I'm kind of interested in it. So they call themselves the Shibu the Sheep army has purchased land in there totaling like 20 million in Ethereum less than a week into the Sheep land sale.
Crazy.
Yeah. So according to 2 contracts for the land auction, holders have spent 6,280 ETH on land in phase 1, phase 2 of the sale so far. This comes from just a small section of Sheep holders. However, it remains closed off to Leash and Shiboshi holders until the weekend's public sale launches. So this is gonna go public on the weekend.
Crazy. Yeah. Is this something that's almost it sounds a bit pump and dumpish almost, but I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe.
I just steer clear right away from those kind of meme coin things, but then there's people that made a crap ton of money on them too. So
I mean, there are so far there's 3,337 owners, and there's 12,975 plots already minted, with a total of 100,000 plots of land eventually set to exist. I don't know what you're gonna do on it, but I don't know. It seems interesting to me.
yeah, well, it's one of those ones we'll have to keep an eye on and see how it goes. Are you going to have a little dabble? You said.
I might.
No.
We'll see how expensive it is. So basically, Shibu Coin has plans to launch its own metaverse project, Sheep. While the initial speculation linked to the metaverse to the Shibu Inu games, we now know the metaverse is its own project entirely. It will feature virtual real estate, which everything does, which will provide users with a passive income. So it's basically like Upland.
Cool. All right, and no gaming news this week, you said. What are you playing at the moment?
Actually, I want to tell people about an Epic sale. They're having sales every week going forward. This week, there's 2 really good games. And even if they look like shit, who cares? It's free. That's why I like PC gaming, because it's so cheap to PC game rather than console. But this week, Insurmountable and XCOM 2 are free. Insurmountable is like a mountain climbing simulation. So you're basically making decisions along the way, kind of what to do, when to rest, when to do this, kind of like flying, but climbing a mountain. Some people like to do that. I mean, it's probably not my bag, but I'll try it out. And the other one is XCOM 2, which is a turn-based game where aliens are in charge and you're part of a guerrilla force, and you must ignite a global resistance to take it back. And I've played XCOM 1, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. This is a $60 game that's for free, so check it out. What I'm playing now is a mixture of 7 Days to Die, Sims, Overwatch, and Ghost Recon. I'm still playing it. I have to finish it, even though they fucked up. Are we allowed to say curses?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
It's going to be marked as explicit anyway, so we'll see how we go.
All right.
But yeah, it's always cool to see you over in the MBE Discord with a growing list of players, playing different things. And
they're crazy. So if you come to MVE and you want to have a good time, just uncensored, you come to the game chat. If you want to watch me art and have a bit of a more censored chat, go to the text voice chat. There's 2 voice chats.
I don't know. I was in there yesterday and it wasn't that uncensored while you were arting.
That was the game one.
Oh, was it? No.
Yep, that was the video game one. So you went into the cray one.
Oh, I went straight in the deep end.
Yes, you did.
Nice. Speaking of the MBE, before I cut you off, have you finished with your news?
I think so, yes.
Cool. So we can dive straight into the MBE updates. The Wine and Cheese Show, what did we do last week?
I don't want to say.
We had 2 false starts with our scheduled guest who stood us up twice. So we're like, bugger you, we'll just do it for ourselves.
We'll just cry in a corner, have ice cream, and do our own damn thing.
Yeah. So it ended up pretty good, actually. We did a deep dive into everything that's happening with the UDU and the MVE, so, including some backstage sneaky peekies. So if you haven't checked that out, go and check it out. And don't forget that with the Wine and Cheese show, Cheese does up a custom NFT for each episode, and you can get that for free. All you need to do is watch the show and follow the little challenges that are within them. And that's about it. Now, you got a little spotlight for one of the friends of MVE Cheese, one of the people that's over in the MVE server that is a content creator and runs their own little segment within the Metaverse Ventures Entertainment server.
Yes.
Over to you,
So
Cheese.
everyone knows him as I Am Everyone, but I know him as Levels We. So I'm going to refer to him as Levels We. Am I even saying it correctly? Levels We?
He's in the call.
Well, you could. Oh, there you go.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, it's German. You call it Level 2.
Levels
And-
Y. That's
Yeah,
even
and your
better.
the 2 stands for number 2.
Level 2.
Yeah. Yeah, level 2. Yeah, it's level 2.
Levels Y. I love that.
Yeah, I have the name because I'm doing art in my home a lot, and my home is on level 2. It's on floor 2.
I love it how when people like do their names according to like stuff that they associate to in real life. That's so cool. Because
Yeah,
then you have a story behind it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm moving at the moment, and again, I'm in floor 2, level 2 again.
Who does levels Y work for? I have to make that work. I'll work on it. So we met in Instagram, and you contacted me to invite me to an art Discord where people came together and did collaborations and just kind of like, networked and whatnot. And I thought it was really cool that you had that set up. And your art is kind of very eclectic. Like it's not very like, because I'm kind of pigeonholed myself. I have my pixel art, and you have now you're doing this new art. I see behind you what you have there, and that's like, it's so cool. It's like a voxel art thing that you're working on. Have you ever thought to kind of like combine some of your styles together with that?
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I'm doing that voxel art stuff since, I don't know, not that long. It's for a half year ago. And before I did a lot of abstract art.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm thinking about combining them together, but I don't know if people like my abstract stuff that much. Yeah, you do.
Cheese
I
is
think
all
it would
about the
look-
abstract.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll take stuff that I create with my pixel, and I'll kind of play around with it to make it abstract. Like, for example, the Easter NFT that I just did. I took the background is like 2 layers of my beadwork, just kind of like abstracted around, like pulled and pinched.
I've
and
once
curled.
seen an abstract one on OpenSea from you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a cool one. I really like that one. It's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, Teddy usually grabs them. He was like, oh, take it down. I can't buy it. I can't buy your new one. Take it down. And I'm like, all right, fine. And I have
Teddy
to
is the
find-
best. Teddy is the
He's
best. I did the Teddy Pig NFT, so Teddy Pig is living on forever in the metaverse.
He needs to. He needs to live forever.
Yeah.
Wait, is it public, or was it just a one of one, or?
No, it's public. I think it's 5.
All right, so I'm gonna.
And I think there's still 1 or 2 to purchase on Atomic Hub.
Oh my God! Can you DM me the link?
Level 2 wax at Atomic Hub.
Whoop whoop! Whoop, whoop. It's the sound of the police.
I think we might have our code word there, Cheese. Teddy pig might be the code word.
Yeah, Teddy Pig
Teddy
lives
Pig.
forever.
Teddy
I would
Pig
like
lives
to do
forever.
a collab. If we can do that, that would be fine. I would like to do a collab with Morecheese, a collab with MVE or UDU.
Yes.
Cheese and I are both massive fans of your stuff, so yeah, absolutely, that sounds awesome.
Nice, nice.
That'd be
You heard
so
it there. The
cool.
code word is Teddy Pig lives forever. Or 4 code
And-
words, code phrase.
Code phrase.
Teddy
Teddy Pig lives
Pig.
forever. So yeah, like, and then I kind of begged you to come to the UDU at the time, because like we love, see, with the UDU, the only kind of thing you need is don't be a cheater and be nice, don't be a jerk, you know. And you were both of those things. I remember you said you were into Upland, but you were waiting for LA. So I was like, yeah, you might as well just wait with us. And I brought you over, and now you're working with Bacchio.
With Bokyo, I work with Bokyo very much. Or a lot, and I work with Slav a lot. And the Upland really brought me into the whole metaverse NFT stuff. It all started with Upland. So, and I'm still really into Upland every day. I like it. It's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, like, you know, we have the new system now where, you know, you don't have to be so active within Upland. You just have to kind of be active within the server, and you're definitely that. And we love artists. We love anybody who's like, you know, has some sort of talent, even just kind of like putting themselves out there and, you know, explaining, doing crazy stuff. Like D-Tech's great with that. Like he's a freaking magician plus artist plus like our newscaster. It's hilarious. I love it. I love the UDU, and I love all the people. And what are you working on now?
Oh, what I'm working on now. Insights. I'm doing this dollar bill thing. I'm still working it out. I'm thinking about if it's gonna be a one-of-one, a pricey one-of-one maybe. And I got so many ideas, but there's
They're
more
gonna
to
rain
come.
down, like the voxel's gonna rain down of the dollar bills.
Yeah, maybe. I'm thinking about doing animated NFTs, doing NFTs with audio, because I like to do audio design and music. Yeah, there will be a lot of. And there's, have you checked out Sleepwalkers NFTs? She's my girlfriend, and she's great with she's not doing voxel, she's doing 3D objects in, how's it called? Nomad, I think Nomad on the iPad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Really cool. Check out, her name is Sleepwalkers on Atomic Hub.
All right, and maybe put like a link of hers in your channel in the MBE Friends.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I do it after this call, yeah, all right.
Nice. And we'll put a link to all your stuff in the description of this as well. So
Nice.
That
Nice.
was awesome. Thank you for that. And that kind of
Thank you
wraps up the Breaking Badly section. And do you remember what was next? What's the next segment? Cheese is looking at her notes. UDU team meeting segments. So this is where we switch over to a bit more UDU team stuff. Now with the UDU team meetings, we always used to start off with a bit of a wine of the week and a win of the week. Now this week I put the wine of the week up as the changes that were made to riot mode, which got a few people's noses out of joint, because it seemed like no matter what they tried to do in Chicago, they just could not get it to activate riot mode. I didn't play around in Chicago myself. Anybody else have a play? I know
for like an event?
For the Spark Week, like the whole point of, you know, people building treasure maps and that sort of stuff, you know, people have spent tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of UpX, millions even, building these treasure maps specifically to hunt in Spark Week. And, you know, I think did right mode in Chicago get increased? It had to be 45 active hunters before right mode would trigger, whereas San Francisco was 15 or something. They dropped it. So
So we have, he's still on. So Biggs actually did an event there this past weekend where he was giving away a lot of his properties so that people can come over and kind of create that riot mode.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. He gave away a few properties. Mossy was there. Goldsmith was there. I couldn't go. I was a slave to Queens. I was stuck in Queens where like I'm relying on my dividends right now, where every time like I kind of claim money, I buy a property. I claim money, I buy a property until I have about at least one property in each place just to get like a toe in there. So I wasn't able to go because I was always broke. But I heard it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but even that, like they set up that system to try and activate, to keep right mode activated in Chicago, but even that, it wasn't successful. I don't think. So pretty frustrating. I think Bocchio got, well over 10 chests, but because right mode was never active, you're missing out on that massive boost that you get with it. So we'll see how we go. We know these things are in beta. Maybe they'll adjust the numbers. I know Bocchio submitted a lot of feedback as to potential changes that could be made to the system. So hopefully the team takes some of that feedback on board. Win of the week. I think that's got to be the Spark login bonus, doesn't it? That kind of, the entire community can benefit from that. So I think that's a pretty big win.
I like the fact that they made it every 7 days.
Yeah.
So like, I was afraid it was going to be every day, because I'm like we want the value of the Spark to be high, and you can't just be giving stuff out willy-nilly. So if somebody logs in for 7 days straight, they deserve a something or whatnot. Yeah. And it's really good for the new players that really don't have. And I heard that it's random.
Yes.
It's not going to be a set. Like, I don't know. I might be wrong.
Yeah, it's not random. It can be changed. Like this week is 0.01 Spark, where they might have special events where it's going to be 0.1 Spark or something. So right. It's not random, but it is kind of set. Now this always happens when we do a win of the week. It always ends up into a wine for some reason. Now I just remembered as you were talking that somebody raised a point where when you get that pop-up, and now I don't know why they keep doing it, and it's always a problem with the building system as well. There's a big massive button there. Do you want to demolish? Like, why that button got to be so obvious? And the same with this Spark login bonus. There's a big I don't know if it's a button or a check mark there. Ignore this message. Now what happens if you accidentally misclick that? Are you done for that week? You can't reactivate that?
You're right, because there have been, like, this morning, when I did it right now, I almost clicked it.
Yeah, so I just don't know why they're going to make that so prominent and right in your face, like, especially when you wake up in a bit of a haze and you see something and you're going to roll over and fat finger it. It's not cool, Magoo. But we'll see how that all pans out. So that's the wine of the week and the win of the week. Normally at this stage, we would do the UDU nodes around the grounds. I'm only going to really touch on Midtown Terrace United. And then Cheese, I think you're going to give us a bit of a rundown on what's happening with the Bronx. If you don't know, the UDU controls several neighborhood nodes as well as a bunch of mini nodes. But unless the node managers are on, we'll just kind of stick to our own patch, I think, unless there's something specific happening in the team or whatever. So Midtown Terrace at the moment is going gangbusters. We're at 44.7% build out, which if you look at I think Finsky posted on Twitter, the map, it might have been from Grumbridle or Steve's Discord servers that showed the map of San Francisco and the development, and Midtown Terrace just stood out because it's it's way above anything else in the surrounding areas of San Francisco as far
That's
as
so cool.
development progress. So that's cool. I do have a massive UCC contract build ongoing with Midtown Terrace, and we're currently up to build 91 of 190. So a bit under 100 more builds to go, which is going to take us pretty much till this time next year. So again, for those that don't know, I contract out the development of my properties in Midtown Terrace to the UCC, and then I use my own private Spark to help other UDU members build within Midtown Terrace. And it doesn't even have to be UDU members. At the moment, I'm helping build an apartment building for a non-UDU member. So if you have property in Midtown Terrace and you want to get it built out, hit me up in a DM and I'll get to you at some stage. What's going on in the Cheesy Node, the Bronx?
So Cheesy Node, I had a contract with UCC. I still have it. I haven't forgot about you guys. I'm still doing it. I just had to take a bit of a break from it, but I got 2 of my apartments done. What I'm doing really is using all of my Spark, and there's like a few others that have been extremely good with like coming with me and to Spark on people. We've gotten so many people done. We're going to be done with an apartment in like a couple of days, and we just move right on to the next one. I've even had some strangers start building, which is always extremely nice. Let's see, I got one more property, which brings me to 72 out of 314. My goals are to get like at least 100, but we'll see. If Weston doesn't come out, then I'm gonna put all my stuff into kind of like making deals with some of the people that are there and see if I can get a few more big properties. I'm just about almost at 90% ownership within the UDU, all of us together. So that's really good.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know I checked the chart, like the graphs, and on the second highest built in the Bronx, I know only beaten by City Island, but they're having their troubles there as well. So, I wish them good luck, but
yeah, that's community node thing. Like, and we've seen a long history of this. Like, what is it? The Sunset would be a prime example in San Francisco. Community nodes, while they can be reasonably successful in the short term, it's very easy to start a node. It's very hard to keep it together and see things through to fruition.
Yeah.
And Coops just said the City Island server died. So yeah,
I heard that as well.
And we know even the roller coaster we've been on in the UDU over the last year and a bit, it's not easy. It's not easy staying cheesy.
It is not easy being cheesy. That's why you always need a number 2 and even a number 3 and 4. I like nodes. I like nodes that come up. I support them. But with the community nodes, you notice it's we want it to be about the community, but I'm the boss and nobody can take it away from me, sort of thing. So it's weird. It's like, I'm doing this for the community, so I'm better than you. But then nobody could take my spot because I'm the best.
But it can go the other way as well too. If you have a community node and it's too loose and nobody's kind of directing anything, well, it just goes nowhere and fizzles and dies too. So that's where it becomes a kind of tricky balancing act.
Yeah, but I mean, if the owner is like, I'm out, peace, but I'm not giving this to anybody.
Yeah. Just pump and dump madness almost.
Pump and dump.
All right. Is there anything else happening in the team? I think it's pretty smooth sailing at the moment, isn't it? We do know Mesita's selling a few more internally of the Strupwood node. And I kind of joke that he's going to be the first UDU node manager that doesn't own any properties in his node. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, other than that, pretty smooth sailing. Now we have been hit up for like, how do we get involved in the UDU? And Cheese and I dived into this in depth in the Wine and Cheese in the Metaverse show, but we'll kind of gloss over that a bit now. our onboarding has been shut down. Our vetting procedures are shut down for the time being until we get out these membership NFTs, which again, we cover this extensively in the Wine and Cheese. So we'll only look at this very briefly, but, and anybody can go and check that out themselves. If you jump over to UDU World, you'll be able to see some of the membership NFTs, the very cool membership NFTs that our legend of the team, D-Tech, put together. So I'm just going to scroll through these very quickly. So that we have a series of different NFTs that are going to be, I guess given out is not the right word, because we're not airdropping them. They're going to be accessible for the various tiers of memberships. So, you know, Sentinels, Acolytes. Yeah, we played around with this concept, and again, I'm not going to go blabbing on too much because we blabbed about it so much in the other show. But yeah, these membership NFTs is something that we've been talking about in the team since the team began. So it's going to be very cool to get those out and in the hands of our members. Did you want to touch on anything there, Cheese? When are we going to get those first ones out?
I know, I keep forgetting you need to throw a shoe at me for this, like, because I just finished the Easter. I did that in real quick. I finished the Waffle Kitties. So I'm going to start. This should be something easy because it's just creating a new schema and getting them out. But yeah, just poke me today. I'll get the first out for the sovereigns and go from there.
Yeah, well, unfortunately I'm back to work today, so I won't
Oh.
poke you today. Yeah, I'm not 100% recovered from the vid, as you may have seen and heard me just coughing my guts up before. But yeah, back to work. The bills don't care if you're still not well. So, but yeah, we'll have to get at least the first lot of those out by the end of this week. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, I'll hitch up and remind you about that. One last thing to touch on, as like Cheese did in the Breaking Badly segment with a spotlight on a friend of the MBE, we're going to do a little bit of a spotlight on a UDU team member. Now, this is something that I used to do way back in the day when we used to do Who is UDU series, but we're just going to try and patch this in as a little bit of a segment. Today, we're going to be having a look at the Finn, Mr. Finsky.
Is he going to talk?
I don't think he will he?
Oh, Finn, come on.
That's all right. So I'll bring this up. There's the Finnman's avatar there. Bit of a story behind his custom Explorer. We might touch on that a bit later. So again, D-Tech did up some amazing art for him. And if you see my avatar in the Discords now too, kind of a crazy GIF D-Tech put together as well. So Finsky will be receiving this membership NFT, which is the Sentinel, which means he's UDU management. So that's pretty cool. That's the Finnman. Now I put this blurb together yesterday, and it does, by the end of it, it sounds a bit like I'm pimping him out to a dating site, which is kind of strange, but that's not how it was intended. So if you haven't seen, Finsky used to be known as Jerry Sode within Upland, but he was one of the people that managed to contact Upland and get his in-game name changed. So Finsky was finally able to become Finsky. He is a UDU veteran, being member number 6. And like I said, he's a current UDU Sentinel. Finsky was instrumental in setting up the UDU's member vetting system, and he leads the vetting team. Back in the old days when the UDU team was open up to the public, Finn was one of the people saying to me, this is not going to work out well. And he was constantly giving me feedback on how we can improve things. And eventually we ended up just taking pretty much all of his suggestions on board. And I think the entire team has benefited from that since. So cheers for that, Finn. Finsky currently has 12 properties in the Upland Genesis node, Midtown Terrace, and he has a wide range of properties in all of the other UDU nodes. And he's involved in a variety of additional node groups. So he's not only in the UDU, he's here, there, and everywhere. And you may have seen he has a very sexy looking full massive block in in the Diamond nodes over in Oakland. So looking forward to seeing what he does there in the future. Finsky reached Uplander status on the 5th of February 2021. So he's been playing for a while. He's currently an executive with a net worth of a bit over 16 million. He's got touch over 1,000 properties, including 481 in Chicago and 367 in Los Angeles. So big gamble there in the tier ones, just as I did myself as well. So that's cool to see. He owns 5 small townhouses, 11 townhouses, and apartment. I had a look through his account yesterday. I was doing a bit of snooping, and he has a great mix of block explorers, including 2 custom one-of-one block explorers for him. So maybe I'll let him explain that story at some stage himself. That's quite an interesting one. And of course, like many people, he's got a bunch of structure ornaments, and he's got some legits. Now, some things you might not know about Finsky. He is a very well-traveled guy, and he actually was telling us he's just about to go on some more travels. That's kicking off soon. So good luck, Finn, and have a blast. And Finn loves getting off the well-beaten tourist paths and challenging himself to have unique experiences with regular people all over the world. I mean, he's been here, there, and everywhere. He's also a home renovation guru who like most folks in his part of the world, Finland, he loves to wind down in the sauna. So that's what I mean. It kind of sounds like I'm doing some dating thing. So if you want to check out Finn, check out at Finsky UDU on Twitter, or on Discord, he's Finsky #6489. So there we go. A little bit of a spotlight on the Finnman.
And he also has 15 in the Bronxdale node.
Yes.
I gotta
yes.
pump my node.
Awesome. So that's it for the UDU team meeting. Next up, we've got ding, ding, ding. And look at that. We're bang on time. We're 2 minutes early even. Perfect. Now, the long-awaited Upland Mash. Now, we should be able to blitz through this in record time, I think. So we'll see how we go. Now, the Upland Mash, this is the part where if you're a sponsor that you could get in and, you know, pimp out your brand or whatever you wanted to do. Now, you remember the packages we put together, Cheese, off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head, but I know you DM'd them to me.
I was just throwing you under the bus there for a second.
So yeah, you do that a lot.
I do. I'll bring this up here. We put 3 tiers of sponsorship together, like sponsorship advertising. So we have a Tycoon sponsor, which is 20,000 UPEX, a Magnate sponsor, 30,000 UPEX, and a Mogul sponsor, 50,000 UPEX. Now, we don't know if these numbers are relevant. Maybe that's way too much. We just don't know. So we put a 50% offer out there. So that brings the Tycoon sponsor down to 10,000 UPEX. Now, again, even 10,000 UPEX sounds a lot, but once you take the fees associated with the transfers and that sort of stuff, you know, there's not a lot there. So we don't know how it works. If you're somebody who would like to get involved, but these prices just seem too crazy, or you want to talk things through, conversations like that will actually help us to set this up in a way that's going to work. Because we want these sponsorships. First of all, we want to highlight what's happening in the community. So that's the major part of it. But at the moment, we're kind of personally bankrolling these giveaways. So it'd be nice to be able to have a system where that's kind of self-funds itself. Obviously, the more like NFTs or UPEX or things like that we can receive, the more we can give out. And yeah, it's not about, this is not about us banking this UPEX. None of that's going to stay in our personal account. It's all going to go towards the prizes and giveaways. Did you want to touch on anything there, Cheese? Sponsorship-ish?
Nope.
Yeah. So yeah, and again, like if you have, maybe you don't have an UPEX balance, but you got a whole bunch of NFTs that you're working on, you know, that can be part of your overall promotion as well. Somebody's DMing me, but I won't check it. Now, as I said at the start of the show, it has been a very busy week. Now, I went and had a look through the announcements channel yesterday, like what has actually happened in the last week. So hold on to your socks. In the last week, we have had the Queen's stress test, the Queen's release, the Metaverse product placement community challenge, another Dan and Shibuverse Twitch stream, the release of the Upland Shorts YouTube channel, which isn't unfortunately named, but oh well. We had the Unlimited Power Flash Challenge. We had the Easter competitive and casual scavenger hunts, the Queen's Trading Challenge, the Auction House with X1 Gamer and General Mort, Collections Reworked Part 2, which we've discussed, the weekly Spark Logging bonus, which we've also discussed. So yeah, everyone says there's not much to do in Upland. Well, perhaps not in the game itself, but definitely in the community. There's always things to do. Maybe we'll go back and touch on a few of these a bit more in depth. Queen's stress test. Now, as I said, I've been in isolation with the vid for a week, so this was a very rare occasion where I thought, well, bugger it, I will get up at 1 a.m. and take part in the stress test. How'd you go? Cheese, you had a classic. Was that the one you slept in, or were you slept in the release, didn't you?
The release, yeah.
Yeah.
The stress test, I did good. I was up for that. I was able to get properties with them. I wasn't able to flip, even though I only did like small flips. Other people were able to flip. But it was smooth. I like that. It was fast and smooth, easy.
Cool. Yeah, I just got distracted by something then myself. Now, this is the part where if you're in the Zoom, you can jump into, please, if you want to jump in and have your say. This is the part where you can go cray-cray. Yeah, the Queen's release, that went pretty smoothly for me. I got in, got what I wanted, and got the hell out of there. Cheese, you slept in a little bit, but you still managed to do quite well.
I slept in for a whole hour. I woke up right 55 minutes before, and I got invited to Mossy's server and a UPS exchange, and I was like, all right, nothing else is going on, I'll go there. And I'm like, hey, so it starts in 5 minutes, right? And they all start laughing at me, and I'm like, what? And they're like, you're kidding, right? But I was able to get so much stuff, and I'm still getting stuff right now, which is really cool. There's a lot of cheap properties still. I'm trying to get the 3 in each. So
you're going for that collection speculation?
Yeah, but like I'm still keeping it cheap. I have a lot of 4 Rockaways, hopefully to kind of flip when that comes, but we'll see.
Are you trying to get a little bit of a balance there for once the collections are revealed, or how are you gonna play with that?
I do eventually want to have, my New York collections, except for like the really, really hard to get, but I'd like to have most of them except for Staten Island. I don't like Staten Island. So yeah, I'd like to have in Queens. I have quite a few in Brooklyn and the Bronx and Manhattan, so I'd like to have Queens in the mix.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna get up for the collection release because I'm back at work, and I think it's 1 a.m. again. And as I said, I got what I wanted and I got out of there. So, but it has been interesting to see within the UDU team people like going crazy over the speculation. So we'll see how that plays out. Fingers crossed for everybody. The Metaverse Product Placement Challenge. Did you do that where you had to, like people were putting pictures of Miles the Llama on a box of cereal and that sort of stuff? Did you play around with that at all?
I'd love to do those. I haven't had any time, and I know like it's on me because I do my gaming to unwind. So like, during those times, I guess I could have put something together, but yeah, I have a lot on my plate. So maybe like the next one I'll try to get more involved in.
Yeah, that is usually I play around with those too, but nothing sprung to mind. I didn't really get inspired by or anything. Usually I have an idea straight away, but that one, I don't know, it didn't stick for whatever. The other thing was the Upland Twitch stream. Do you ever play around and get involved with those?
I watch them. I like to see. I really enjoyed the one with Sheba and X1, like going to the places and like trying new things there. I thought it was really awesome. I sometimes listen to the auction the auction thing, even though I don't buy anything. It's just kind of like watching to see who the big dog is that gets the prize. I try to watch or like go back and watch a lot of the stuff from Upland, especially since like I'm so involved in that, and I really like their project. But yeah, like is there anything new that I may have missed? Like, what have you been watching?
Well, I would love to follow along with those, but again, it's ridiculous AM for me, and they never change the time. So that's just one of those things that I'm never going to be able to be involved in, which is a shame. We shall see. What about the Upland Shorts channel with those horrendous TikToks they're putting together? You get involved in that?
No, that last TikTok you showed me scared me. That was
You haven't been
awful.
back. Yeah,
That was so bad.
I guess perhaps they work really well for whatever the target audience is, but it's certainly not a 45-year-old Australian. Put it that way. So I'll say, what about the unlimited power flash challenge? Was an interesting one. If you had 10,000 spark for one day, what would you do with it? All I could think was I'd rent it out and make some US dollars. That's the only thing that
Yeah,
come to my mind.
what kind of question is that? 10,000 spark. My God. What can you say? I would get my Bronx done and rent the rest.
Yeah, it'd be all right if you could pile 10,000 spark onto a property and it got it done instantaneously, and you could just go through your whole list. But yeah,
Through it all.
yeah, and it's only for one day, so you're not going to be able to finish any buildings anyway, which is a bit of a strange one. Like you could have 1,000 properties being built, but yeah, even with 10,000 spark, they're not going to be finished in the day due to the limitations of the system. What about the Easter scavenger hunts? Did you play around with that? I skipped those completely because again, the timing was not great for the competitive one and the casual one. You know, I'm a bit over those, to be honest, myself personally, but they're still pretty good and fun for new people, or even if you want to just bank the sends.
I was a slave to Queens.
Yeah.
I couldn't leave Queens. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm about to buy a property now, and it's gonna leave me with like pennies again.
Oh.
Yeah, Boulder Magic said he bought the sends. A lot of people. I should have done that.
Yeah.
Actually, that's very smart. What about you?
I've done that previously. Like I've paid just to get the sends, but then I've just eaten them all up doing my standard treasure hunts anyway. So it wasn't really worth it for me when you can just get those sends for free. So, but if you're somebody who can bank those sends and hold them for a city release, well, yeah, that's definitely beneficial. So, see how we go. We might skip over a bunch of this other stuff. The auction house, apparently that was good though, because there was a very rare San Francisco train station was up. So I did see.
Oh, really?
I did see Dr. Tid or his group may have picked that up, although I didn't see the details behind how much they paid.
That's a good grab, I feel. That's a great grab.
Absolutely.
Anything San Fran, New York. I sold my Chicago. I needed money. What was I supposed to do?
No, well, that's one of the things that kind of helped me to go into sell mode was them putting that first dividend drop in. So once that came through, I was like, right, well, I need to make up some other way to make up that loss that I've taken on board. So yeah, I finally started selling here, there, and everywhere. So sometimes you just need that little kick in the pants. And people always say, yeah, but what about that's going to be worth X in so many years? Well, yeah, you can't be married to everything. So it is a balance.
You can be married to areas, though.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it goes both ways. You shouldn't be married to everything. And I don't think it's really good if you're too loose with everything as well, too. So you got to have your foundations somewhere. Now, last week, Cheese, we put together a challenge for this week. Do you remember what that was, the weekly challenge?
I don't remember.
So the weekly challenge was you had to post a screenshot showing that you were subscribed to the MBE channel, and you had to post that within the MBE server in the, podcast challenges or something. Yeah, I don't even remember myself. Podcast comps. So there's a channel within the MBE server, podcast comps. So I went through and got all of the people that submitted, and we have a prize wheel. And the prize is going to be, do you remember that one? You should remember that one.
Well, the final prize you have a chance of winning is 1 million epics.
Not for this one. This one is the very special pick your
Oh
Morecheese
God, stop asking me questions, Ben. Just do it. Stop asking me questions.
All right, so here we go. I'm assuming this has popped up. Now, my donkey computer hates these things, but we'll see how we go. So these are all the people that submitted for that challenge. Let's see what happens. Who's gonna get the custom Morecheese? Oh, and look at that.
Wow, Teddy Pig. He's gonna love
Teddy
that. Oh my
Pig.
God. He was
Oh, now
actually DMing me last night, like going through things that he needs and he has. So he really wants that that special section in the MVE where we only have 2 people, but I'm having in my mind more people to put in there. And there is gonna be something really special that I have in my mind that has to do with one of the episodes, wine and cheese episodes. I have to discuss it more with Ben and work out the logistics, but it's going to be something really cool. So if you're in that channel, you're going to be privy to some extras.
Cool. So yeah, congratulations, Teddy. You get your choice of a Morecheese NFT. Hit her up in the DMs and get that sorted out. For this week's challenge that will be rolled and won next week, I'm going to give away 9.9 Spark rental for 3 days or whatever it takes. I think, what's a small townhouse take? 3 point something days?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's 9.9 because, you have to start the building yourself as a 0.1. So that's the prize. What should we do for the challenge?
Didn't we do it? Didn't we say it? The secret phrase in the middle?
You can do that. Yep. So you got to let's make it this. So
we did it already.
For the phrase, yeah, absolutely. We've already got the phrase. A little extra step. You're going to have to go over to the podcast comps channel within the MBE server. Tell us what this week's secret phrase was, and post the address of the property that you would like your small townhouse built on. I should say too, if you don't want to build a small townhouse and you want to build a townhouse or apartment, that's fine. I'll just put that amount of Spark on for the same amount of time. So yeah, drop that in the podcast comps channel and you may win this time next week. And that is that. Now, the very last thing on the agenda is the big 1 million Apex wheel spin. Now, Cheese, did you have those ready to go? Oh, no, we don't know who's going to roll. Do we? I need to do that. I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, I did take the snapshot earlier in the show when Cheese was doing the breaking badly. So let me share screen and we will find out who's going to go for the big prize. What's that? No, that's the old one. Here it is here. So this is the UDU podcast prize wheel. Who will play? So this means you were in the Zoom for the snapshot. Check. You know the phrase. Well, we don't know. We're going to roll it first, and then hopefully you're still in the Zoom, and you can tell us either in voice or in the chat what the secret code phrase was. Let's see who gets the chance.
Oh no.
Da 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 da. Well, it might have just ticked over, I think. Jazz, are you there?
I'm here.
Yay!
Hey,
this is gonna be
let
so
me close
fun.
that down.
Right, so the passphrase is well, I think it's Teddy Pig lives forever.
Yes. Ding,
But
ding,
isn't that
ding.
the same as the one that you guys wanted on the other channel?
Yep, same deal. Cheese, did you want to can you bring up the prize wheels?
Sure.
I'll
Get
stop
out of
sharing,
there.
because otherwise, yeah, my donkey computer's going to die. Now, Jazz, do you know how to play? Have you seen how to play?
Oh, sorry.
What'd
Of
you do?
course I did that.
What'd you do? I didn't see.
Wow, I pressed it by mistake.
Ah, that's all right.
Wait, she pressed it by mistake.
You pressed it by
Yeah,
mistake.
yeah, that was a
That's
me
right.
thing. That was a me thing.
So this is a 3-stage prize wheel. So you're gonna roll the first wheel, and then you can decide to bank that UpX or roll again. And we go through 3 wheels all the way up to the 1,000, the 1 million UpX prize. So when you're ready, Jazz, tell Cheese to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, MC. Well, I don't understand. Why would anybody not bank it though?
Well, if you only get 1,000 UpX, do you want to hold on to that, or do you want to play again and try and win 1 million UpX? Oh, you've got
5. You got the second one.
5,000 UpX. Now, this is the choice
Oh,
you
I
have.
see. So
Do
I
you
either keep 5,000 or I spin again, and this is my last spin. Is that right?
You
No,
spin
no.
on a new wheel that has
This
a
is the new
different.
wheel.
Yeah, this wheel has a maximum of 50,000 UpX that you win.
Ooh, spin that
But-
wheel, geez, spin that
But-
wheel.
She's gonna play again.
I got to tell you,
I'm playing again.
the other prizes get split in half.
Yeah, the other prizes drop. But spin again. She said it. Let's do it.
All right, I just want to make sure she understands.
It's all
I
right.
just realized what you said. But
Yeah, see?
I'll take my chances.
All right,
Nice.
all right, she's gonna do it. She's gonna take her chances.
Love a gambling spirit. All right. When you're ready, give her the word.
All right, so it went from
So you're going from 5,000 UpX to 500 UpX.
now this will be easier. You either take the 500 UpX or you come here where the prize is 1 million, but you also could lose up to and get 250 as your final prize.
So I'm gonna take the 500 and give it back to you and spin again.
Nice.
Come
gonna
on,
spin again. We're
million!
going for the million. This would be
We're
epic if
the
it goes
champions.
off the first
It's so close.
time.
Oh, I almost got that
250.
million.
It was
That's
right
good.
there. It was so close.
My UpX balance breathes a sigh of relief for the time being.
I think Ben's almost got a heart attack there when
Yeah.
it came close.
Oh, I'd love to see it go off, absolutely, but maybe not twice in a row. That would be a bit terrifying. So, congratulations, Jazz. I will sling you off 250 UpX very soon.
Thank you, Ben. It's
Aw.
a fun game. I like the way that you've done it.
Oh, you would not want to know how much wall head banging we've done try to work the math on that, because yeah, you got to make it so that the temptation is to spin again, but you know you don't want to give away too much either. So a bit trickety to balance that one. All right, well that just about wraps us up. Of course, if you've been listening, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Spread the word. This podcast will be put out as a full show. It will probably also be split up into the different segments. We'll see how we go. Cheese, do you want to get us wrapped up so we can get out of here?
I don't have my chicken wing. I'm so unprepared. This is the worst show ever, first show. But love, peace, chicken grease. Get out of here.
Later.